All right, so let's get down to business. What are you hearing about Jaylen Brown and his health?
Well, Joe Mazzulla was asked if Jalen would be ready in time for game one on Sunday. And Joe said he's 100% confident. Confidence is not an absolute prediction. It's just a measure of how excited you are for something to maybe happen. From what I've heard, it's a little bit more up in the air than that. I don't think it's a lock necessarily. I don't think they know at this point. They're waiting to see how his knee reacts. I would be surprised if he missed game one, but it would not be shocking, I would say.
Okay, if they don't say they err on the side of caution, maybe, and they decide that Jaylen Brown or something happens where Jaylen Brown's not ready to play for a while, how many rounds do you think they get through without Jaylen Brown? Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's the
I
one.
figured that would
You
be the one.
stumped
That's the
him,
one. You stumped him.
and he's like,
I'm here.
Oh, I thought I had
How
put
many
you.
rounds and then nothing? I think I know where that question's going. How many rounds would be first round? Not a problem. Second round against New York, a problem, but not a huge one. They match up well against New York, and unless Mikal Bridges truly turns it on and really makes a huge impact on Jayson Tatum, they could get through New York without Jaylen Brown. But I do think though that the Knicks have enough in the tank offensively that it would be like one of those knock them down, drag them out kind of game seven matchups. But with Jaylen Brown out there, I do think they'd be able to get through New York relatively confidently. But then once you get to Cleveland, Cleveland's been so good this year. It's just hard to imagine beating Cleveland without your second best player.
You're very confident the Knicks to beat the Pistons. I'm not. I'm not so
Yeah.
sure the Knicks
It's a
beat the
good point.
Pistons.
Yeah.
I'm not so
That's
sure.
a very good point.
All right, so
who knows what they have left after Tibbs played them all 45 minutes a game all season?
Yeah, I know it's a little. He might get fired. All right, so Orlando, Atlanta. That's who the winner of that is who they're going to play.
Sunday.
So-
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The winner of that is what they're going to play. Jesus, John.
Trying to help.
I know. You know what's going on. There's no question. All right. So out of the two, do you have any preference?
Orlando is probably the more difficult option just because, one, they've obviously played the Celtics well over the last couple of years. Their physical intensity has just been overwhelming for Boston at times. And then, of course, they have Paulo Banchero, they have Franz Wagner, they have two high-level scorers that are really tall guys that the Celtics don't necessarily match up great against. And then just, also like that's a team that's going to make them work. It's going to be difficult physically. And the first round for a team as good as the Celtics, it's not necessarily about can they win. It's really about how do they look coming out of that series. And Orlando's just going to be tougher for them. There's no question about it. And as good as Atlanta was earlier in this year, and that's part of why their record is decent, they've lost a lot of talent over the last 2 months. They're starting Mo Gay at the four, who would probably be one of the primary matchups against Jayson Tatum, and like he's a pretty big step down from what they had before, although he is still a decent young player. I just think Atlanta is much easier for them to deal with.
Yeah, because there's no Jonathan Isaac who's creeping over there on Orlando still. I thought Jonathan Isaac was going to be a better pro than Tatum. It's when that draft happened.
So close.
yeah.
I mean, if he didn't get hurt, that's really what it came down to.
So they were able to obviously win it all last year with very little from Kristaps Porzingis. He played what 1-2 games throughout
In
the
the
entire
final.
yeah in the final. That was it. It's a different player obviously in Jaylen Brown. But let's play it out here. Not to say that Mazzulla is lying, but let's just say he's mistaken, and he won't be ready to go during the playoffs. And you get very little contribution from him. How much does that affect? To what degree? It's obviously going to affect them, but to what extent? If Jaylen Brown isn't able to contribute a lot.
Well, I mean, this puts so much onus on Tatum early on. And obviously, you got to worry about running Tatum into the ground. He already takes on a massive usage load in the postseason. He really steps up his defensive intensity. So, he really gives you everything he's got in the tank in the postseason, and that's why Jaylen is so crucial. Is you need two of those guys if you're going to win a championship. Yeah, I really do think that they're good enough. And the way they've been playing, they kind of flip the switch. They're like, all right, the playoffs are approaching. Maybe we should be a great team again. I do think that they have enough that they can get through the first round, probably get through the second round without Jaylen. We're talking about this as if like we don't know if Jaylen's going to be back in a month and a half. It does not seem like that. It seems like this is a matter of days, not weeks or anything like that. So the whole premise is probably overblown. But the NBA is better than it was last year. Obviously, we don't know how injuries are going to go. Last year, a bunch of guys got knocked out in the playoffs, including Donovan Mitchell for Cleveland, and that opens the path up for them more. That's going to happen again, but also that's kind of happening to them right now. So who knows how it's going to play out, but we know that there are great teams out there that are better than the competition they had last year, and they're not going to be able to just walk through the league again.
Jared, will the pain injections that Jaylen Brown has gotten and the rest he's getting here before the playoffs make him better, or will it just make the injury more tolerable?
Those are the same, I would say. It will probably make whatever discomfort he's dealing with more tolerable, or not even an issue for him for a while. It's something that probably needs maintenance. This is probably not a one-off thing. He probably will need something else to be done to his knee at one point, which is obviously complete speculation. I'm not a doctor, haven't seen the MRIs, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
But,
I trust all the doctors I read on Twitter,
Oh, yeah.
Jared, and you couldn't be more wrong. You know these.
Okay. They've all seen the MRIs.
Yes, of course. Do you think these doctors would be spouting off if they didn't have the charts in front of them and they haven't seen the film? Yeah, there's no bone bruise. You know, this is not a boating accident. We're talking about meniscus. We're talking about tears. We're talking about all kinds of stuff.
We're talking about, we have no idea what we're talking about here. We know he got a knee thing done.
Yeah.
It's like, just live with the uncertainty, everybody.
Oh,
He's going to be fine,
do
probably, and he's probably going to be a great player. He's Jaylen Brown. He plays through stuff all the time. He should be fine. We don't know. That's the beauty of the playoffs. We have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, most reputable doctors diagnose without seeing the patient. Just
That's what I do.
Based entirely on how the leg moved on a video that they saw. They can pretty much tell you right away what happened.
I know. That's what they go to school for all those years so they can do stuff
Your
like
kid
that.
ever hurt their leg? It's all they move the knee. That's how they can figure out right away pretty much what's going on with if something's torn because they move the knee. You have to move the knee around. Guys that look like their leg got ripped off, they come out on the field, they move the knee. The knee's not moving around. They're like, all right, they get him up. The guy comes back in the game a little bit later. It's absolutely ridiculous that these doctors think that they can do that. I mean, not even an MRI. I'm not even saying you need that. You got to move that knee around, see what's happening with that. All right, Jared Weiss, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. We know your time is tight for you today.
Thanks, Jared.
We appreciate it. Enjoy it. Everyone read him in The Athletic. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, Fred's medical dissertation was way better than making my flight on time. This is perfect.
Yeah, I think that was sarcastic. I don't care for that.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.